Hilda Gan, People Bright Consulting. Welcome to the power of resilient work culture, focusing on you as the business owner. Today, I want to talk to you about how you can build a strong and resilient work culture. So join me. Thank you very much for taking the time in your day to, to learn about resilient work cultures and how you can make a difference to your business through that. So I'm going to start by sharing the screen. So just give me a second to set up. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the power of a resilient work culture for business owners. Well, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Hilda Gan, and I am the founder and president of People Bright Consulting. We are a full service HR consulting firm, which means we do strategic HR consulting, recruiting, as well as compliance and policy and procedural issues. But we also do training. And I am the creator of a program called Connect with REVUP. It's a leadership project, people management skills training. And I'm very, very passionate about creating healthy workplaces. My husband and I had our own engineering company years ago, and we created a company that grew from 2 people to 125 people in 7 offices across Canada. And we were known for creating a very strong work culture, such that we were recognized as one of the best workplaces in Canada, top 10 twice. So I'm very passionate about helping others to build stronger workplaces. One of the things I've recently done is created a podcast called Rev Up Your Potential. And it's a podcast about the entrepreneur next door. Every week we bring on somebody and we talk about the successes and the struggles that they've had. My goal is to really help you as a business owner understand what you're doing, how to navigate, and to really be that best version of yourself to help you rev up your potential. So let's get started. I want to talk to you today about, first of all, let's have a common understanding. Let's talk about what are those key concerns of a business owner and how we can address them through the power of people. The second thing is to share with you the concept that I've created called REVUP and what the 5 principles are that can help you create a resilient work culture. Why would I want to do that? Well, I'm going to help you understand that by building a strong work culture, you enhance employee engagement and at the same time build financial performance successfully in tandem to each other. And finally, I'm going to share a little bit more about what Connect with RevUp is about. So let's start with what are the key business concerns? You as a business owner are trying to manage so many things, wear so many hats. And if you're growing, you're starting to hire people to take over some of those hats as an accountant, as a marketer, as a deliverer of the work that needs to be done. So my experience and a couple of articles that I've read through, I've compiled what I'll say are 6 key business concerns that you have. Number 1 is finding and attracting clients. How do you get people to identify that what you've got is really great and that they want to buy it? The second thing is finding top talent, those people that are high quality, that are going to be engaged and loyal to you. Very, very hard to find, but not impossible. And I find that when I tell people I'm an HR consultant, the first thing they say is, do you find good people? Do you know how to find good people? That seems to be a running thread. And I think it's not the finding, it's the finding the good people. The third thing is, how do we stay profitable? We have to have revenues, we have to have people who buy our services, and we have to work efficiently. So how do you stay profitable in this business? And then there's this whole area of marketing. And today it's about social and digital marketing and how do you make your business attract and bring in more revenue through marketing. The fifth thing, and we all know this, is funding. And funding for growth and maintaining cash flow, understanding the finances for success of the business. And the sixth point I want to make sure you understand is how do you stay healthy and manage stress? Because you are running so many things in the business and the buck stops with you. So you bear a lot of stresses. And during these COVID times, that's even more stressful than it has been in the past. So, myth or reality? People are your greatest assets. Myth or reality? Some people will say that hiring people are commodity. And if if this person doesn't work out, let's try another one. There are impacts to that as a result. So if you are a people person who understands that people are your greatest assets, you can succeed. So what do I mean by that? Fortune, the Fortune magazine has a 100 best employees to work for annually, and they've been partnering with an organization called Great Place to Work. Great Place to Work has 50 countries that have best workplaces lists across the world, and Fortune 100 is a best list. And what they have found through their experience is that those people who are on the 100 best companies list for Fortune magazine deliver stock returns 2 to 3 times greater than other major stock indices who are not on that list. So compared to their competitors, Great Places to Work win when it comes to revenue growth, employee retention, productivity, innovation, resilience, agility, customer service, engagement, and so much more. And this is based on millions of employees around the world pulling together the surveys and the data of richness of how to create better workplaces and the results of that in terms of revenue. So you can spend money on employee engagement and it can result in profits. So let me explain that a bit further. Instead of thinking, well, geez, why should I bother becoming a great place to work? Because I don't have that kind of money. Investing in your people will yield the results that I just shared with you. And the Great Place to Work has created a concept called Great Place to Work for All, where every employee, no matter what level of employee, no matter what role they play, if they feel a part of your company, that makes a difference. And here are the factors that they highlighted. First of all, trust people they work for. The employees in an organization that's a great place to work trust the employees they work for. Can you say that of your organization? Second, that they take pride in the work they do. They take pride in the work that they do. And number three, they enjoy the people they work with. So a great place to work has the six following factors. And this is identified by the Great Place to Work Institute. First of all, values. That people have values for their organization and the people they hire support, buy into, and live those values. So they're aligned. Second of all, innovation. That they create an innovative workspace that therefore helps you thrive and survive. Financial growth is successful and strong. The fourth thing is leadership effectiveness. These are people who can manage and lead effectively and oftentimes have been trained and given support and training to be effective leaders. The fifth thing is maximizing human potential. And the sixth is building trust. A great place to work for all is where people feel these six factors: value, innovation, financial growth, leadership effectiveness, maximizing human potential, and trust. So when one adopts a great place to work for all kind of standard, the result of that has been that these companies actually grow 3 times faster than their less inclusive rivals. So what I'm saying to you is that creating a place that has a strong work culture and these 6 factors can make a difference to your bottom line, to your ability to sleep at night, to your effectiveness as an organization. So I mentioned to you that the Great Place to Work Institute has done this in 50 different countries. They actually have best workplace lists all over the world. And Canada is one of those. And so we actually were a great place to work for in the Great Place to Work Institute because they call it best workplaces in Canada. And at our company, we really focused on the values and building trust, maximizing our potential, and really building our managers to be effective managers, to help motivate and guide the staff and really engage them so that there was loyalty created. And what the Greater Workplace Institute says that is if you focus on aligning values with everybody in the organization, building trust, having leadership effectiveness, and maximizing human potential, the innovation and the financial growth will come. In our company, we actually had our values were insight, integrity, and innovation. And our staff could actually share with you what our values were. They knew what they were by heart. And I could walk by and talk to people and they would tell me. In fact, one person said, well, like our values. And I said, yeah. And he said, no, like our values, Hilda. And I said, yeah, like, but he wanted to make sure I knew that he knew what they were. And he then spit them out to me, insight, integrity, innovation. So again, we became one of the best workplaces in Canada, top 10 twice. In fact, we were number 9 the first year that we submitted our name, and it's a survey-based application. It's not just you do a cultural audit, you do a survey, and you do a survey for managers and for staff, and it's how they line up that really identify those companies that are great places to work. So I'm very proud of that. But what I want to do is use the experience that my husband and I had, use the experience my husband and I had building this great place to work and actually helping other small business owners grow and escalate and scale. Because I know where you've been. I know when we were 2 people and 10 people and 20 people and 125 people. I know what it's like to grow your business and scale it. So we are in the midst of COVID-19. It's 7 months into it for us in Canada. How have you been doing and how will you survive? And how will you balance that employee-employer relationship right now? Besides COVID-19, other things have now surfaced like Black Lives Matter, like Me Too movement, and these are all impacting on the workplace and the nature of the workplace. Then you have to think about your families and your staff. The fact that many of them are either living in social isolation because they're single, or they're living in families and working with their families around them, and their children going back to school, either virtually or actually going physically to school. So there's a lot of stresses out there. What I want to tell you then is about the concept of Connect with REVUP and what REVUP is. REVUP is something that my husband and I created when we had iTrends. We didn't call it REVUP then, but since we sold the business, I've contemplated on why were we successful? What made it a success? And the first things that were obvious to me was the respect, equality, and the value that we had for people. So REVUP, I love the name of it. It's energetic. You can rev up your company, rev up your potential. But REVUP is also an acronym. It's an acronym for a set of principles that you can live by, your staff can live by, and in fact, our staff lived by, but we didn't call it REVUP in those days. So what is REVUP? REVUP stands for respect, equality, valued, as in I value you, uniqueness, and potential. Let me expound on that a little bit. So I think respect is simple enough, but hard to do. We need to respect others. And today you need to respect not the way you want to be treated, but the way they want to be treated. In an organization now, we need to think about diversity and inclusion. And we need to put ourselves in other people's shoes to understand what respect means to them. And at iTrans, we treated people with respect and we treated with them with equality. And that goes into that notion of great place to work for all. We wanted everybody at iTrans to feel that they were equal to everybody else. Okay, yeah, you say, well, there's the president and then there's the other people. No, we wanted equality. We wanted everybody to recognize and to realize that every person's role is important, because without the person answering the phones, without the person putting in proposals and submissions, without the person doing their marketing to the best of their abilities, there's going to be a gap in the team that is not filled properly, that's not going to help win. So we created that sense of team, we created an open, honest relationship, and that really helped. The third thing we did was value people. We made them feel that they were important. We remembered things that they did, remembered things about their family, and we showed that recognition. And I'll give you a good example of the recognition. We had what we called iCars, or transportation. So we created a recognition of an award recognition called iCars. And it was a very simple concept. It was taking the cars that you can find at Toys R Us. They're models with a plastic container on it, so it looked like something that you could display. And we took those cars and we got a plaque and we identified projects that people did, and we put the name of the project on the plaque. So it was suitable for mounting at your desk. People would then be able to identify that, wow, that person won a prod for this project. So what we did was we not only showed forth to people, but we made it tangible. And we did it as part of our staff meetings to recognize people. So making people feel valued helps keep that engagement going. The other thing we did was really looked at people as individuals, as unique as they were, and recognized that different is better, and helping them rise to their potential to build what they wanted to do in their career, and build that by giving them challenges to make them feel valued and have a sense of worth as they continue to build on their career. So that's REVUP. And imagine what your company can become by adopting the REVUP principles. It can help you build those values, create that trust, maximize human potential, and with leadership effectiveness, you can have a really solid and healthy, resilient work culture. So to build a work culture that can boost employee engagement and at the same time really create successful financial performance, here's my recipe for success. Start with adopting the 5 REVUP principles. What I love about them is they're simple and they're adaptable to change, and they create good values of building people and building your organization. What you'll find is when you look at people as equals and value them and respect them, you're going to create a culture of trust and of loyalty, particularly if your leaders are effective at motivating and supporting the growth of your company. One of the things I find interesting is leadership effectiveness. Oftentimes we promote people because they're really good at the skills. They're an expert at ABC software, or really building a strategic plan for a consulting company, as a consulting company. The average, according to a study from DDI, the average person gets promoted to frontline manager roles between the ages of 24 and 38, but the average is 36. But the average time for people to get some training on the people skills, because we often don't hire people or promote them for their people skills. We hire them for their skills and their project management skills, their organizational skills. So there's a 4-year lag between the average time a person becomes a frontline manager and the time they actually get some effective training. So imagine what can happen in those 4 years. The amount of learn by trial and error, mistakes, learning how to figure out what kind of management style I want. And you have a recipe that really creates a strain on the success of your culture. So the second piece of the formula really is to build leadership effectiveness. And the third is that uniqueness piece in RevUp is building the human potential, maximizing that. And if you have all these three things, you will build trust. And in building trust, it'll build a stronger work culture. And that in turn will create that return on investment that you're looking for. Investing in your people, investing in your managerial skills, whether you as a leader or you who have some managers, investing in that will really show an increase in your sales and profits and an increase in your engagement, which means people won't be leaving you as often and you won't have to pay for that extra cost, sometimes 1.5 times of the replacement salary, to hire somebody else who's left. So I'm saying to you as business owners, how can you lead and create a resilient culture? Do you want to be an effective leader? And are you one of these people that have learned your people management skills through trial and error, through your own personality? Have you had any training? I had a person who joined one of my leadership training skills management courses about a half a year ago now. And he said, "Hi, my name's Paul, and I've been a business manager for 20 years now. And I'm embarrassed to tell you that this is the first management skills training that I've ever had." And Paul was actually a very good manager. He had some really strong fundamental skills, cared about people, motivated them. And he got a lot out of the training course that I shared with him. But the point is that sometimes we don't spend that money on training. And imagine if there aren't as many people like Paul. There are more people that are really learning and have a style that really isn't supportive of promoting and motivating staff. So are you going to be one of those that relies on trial and error to develop your people management skills? Or are you going to have some targeted training once in a while? So rev up your people management skills, I think, is a key to helping you be a better manager, build a stronger company that will be successful, and keep and retain top talent, so that when you meet me for the first time, you'll say, "Yeah, or when you meet me again, you'll say, I remember you. You created something that helps people build teams that are going to last and stay for a lot longer." So there'll be less headaches, less worries at night about finding top talent or people leaving. An interesting study that somebody kept track of, he was a recruiter. And so for 10 years, he kind of asked everybody as they came into his into his company of trying to be hired, because he was a recruiting agency. So he interviewed 8,500 people, and he came up with these top 3 reasons, which are similar to most studies that I've read. Is the top reasons people leave or change their jobs is, number one, lack of opportunities to use their skills and abilities. And remember, at iTrends, we actually listened to people and asked them where they were growing in their careers and try to develop those opportunities to really stimulate and challenge their progress. 22% bad management. And oftentimes articles you'll read say people leave because of their managers. It's just too hard to work under a certain person day in and day out. It's very, very stressful, and so people leave. And the third reason is the company culture. Some people will leave because it's toxic, and some people will leave because it's so bad that they can't continue to work. How much is it costing your organization if you have any one or all of these reasons that people might leave. So trying to solve these problems, if you have a more positive work culture, if you have great managers, yourself included, and if you help stimulate people to grow within the company, imagine that the retention will be much better and the productivity will also be much better. I want to share with you some costs to having what I'll call difficult conversations, because oftentimes people need to say something, need to do something, but they won't do it because it's just uncomfortable. So, in a study in Utah in 2016, Vital Smarts reports that 72% of people fail to speak up when somebody's not pulling their weight. Imagine, you know that there are some people who may not be productive as others, or they show up late and people are covering for them or not saying something. It's not that they're covering, but they're not saying. Well, this study said 72% of people actually look the other way. They never say anything. And imagine what that does to morale and productivity. 40% of people in the survey said they estimated that they take 2 weeks or more of wasted time thinking about the problem of how they're going to talk to somebody about a concern. It could be the person that's not pulling their weight. It could be that a person doesn't deliver on time. But 40% estimate that they spend 2 or more weeks. What is that doing to their health, mental stress, and what is it doing to their productivity at work when they diverted? Third fact was they estimated that people spent on average $7,500 per conversation in either lost time or resources due to avoiding talking about a difficult situation. So imagine what that impact has on the cost, on the morale, employee engagement, culture, time, budget. This is a concern that a lot of people do. They do not feel comfortable talking about conversations. And one of the things I like to do is help people with leadership effectiveness. That means having those awkward conversations, those difficult conversations, so that we don't waste time, that we become comfortable and confident in doing that. So, as a leader, if you rev up your people management skills, you can push your business to the next level. You can save money in some ways that I've already shared with you. And taking us back to what the Great Place to Work for All said, the standards, if people adopt that kind of standard, they will grow their revenue 3 times faster than their rivals. Imagine the money saved if you could just even manage the difficult conversations with confidence. The Great Place to Work is not just for big corporate companies. It is also for every company. Regardless of the size, regardless of the industry, the Great Place to Work said those key factors were important. To build trust, to have value, to look at potential, and that innovation piece and that revenue will come as a result of creating leadership effectiveness and all these other things that I've stated. So I just want to refresh your memory of what REVUP is. These are 5 principles that we used to create that strong and healthy work culture when we were iTrans. And that's what I do today as People Bright, trying to make sure that I reach as many business owners as possible to help you build that strong work culture, to build your success of your business through your people. So a refresher, REVUP stands for treat people with respect. Look at them with equality. Show that they are valued. And then seek to understand what makes them unique. And looking at that uniqueness, tap into that potential and imagine what your company can do by adopting REVUP principles and receiving REVUP manager people skills that will really help you take your company to the next level, that will help you rev up your company. So I've talked a lot about work culture and I've talked a lot about REVUP and the Great Place to Work. And that is for me a solution for you to creating a REVUP type of work culture. You can create a successful business. So how do you do that? And appreciate people staying to listen more about what REVUP is. So I'm actually creating a REVUP Your People Management training program that's virtual. I've been doing the sessions live before COVID-19, but now with COVID-19, we need to think, how do we deliver that? So I've created a 4-week virtual management leadership training program through Zoom. And what it will help you do is it will help you manage with confidence, communicate effectively, and really to help you build your resilient work culture. It starts on October 27th, 90 minutes every week for 4 weeks to November 17th. And that's on Tuesday from 12 to 1:30. Why should you attend? Well, you should attend if you really want to build better, motivated teams that you can lead and engage. You would also want it if you want to manage those difficult and sensitive work conversations with confidence. I spend the 4th week helping you practically with how to deal with that so that you can manage the multiple difficult conversations that you have in your business. Third, boosting your people management skills to become an effective leader. And that starts with knowing who you are and understanding how you can maximize your strengths and your potential and be, therefore, the better manager. And by attending, you would build better relationships. You'll build a more confident people manager in yourself. You'll grow your business and you will increase your revenues. So who is this program designed for? I'm creating this program so that small to medium enterprises, startups, and solopreneurs will gain that confidence in how they can successfully be better people managers. And the examples that I will give will be focused on you as the business owner. So what do you get for it? In the course, there'll be 4 90-minute sessions online, and we will do it through, the virtual way right now, focusing on people management skills training, effective communications, difficult conversations, learning about how to understand uniqueness and tap into uniqueness. In addition, then there will be 2 45-minute one-on-one coaching sessions with me. We'll start the sessions off with understanding who you are, and that's through the Fascination Advantage personalized report. This will help you find who you are, your uniqueness, and give you a 16-page assessment report on how the world sees you, so that when you understand how the world sees you, you can be your most confident self by presenting your most confident, authentic, natural version of you. We'll have a workbook that you can work through to help you build that resilient work culture. And afterwards, there'll be a focus group that helps you online. Here's what some people say about the courses that I've delivered. Thank you again for organizing this very successful seminar. I've taken with me lots of useful management skills to manage more teams in Pickering, an effective and insightful seminar. That's from the operations manager at Canopies. Lori Dalton, who knows speakers and coaches, so she understands when she sees something good in the training field. I found Hilda's REVUP training outstanding. The program was excellent on the points that she highlighted, how people see you, and fun to take part. CEO of a webinar design firm, Alice Ma, said, there were so many aha moments and so many good tips I can apply immediately. Hilda's workshop was full of interactive activities and real-life case studies. It was a fantastic workshop. In fact, it was fantastic. So how much does this cost? Well, the value of this program would be the equivalent of $4,500. Now, that sounds like a lot of money, but remember when we talked about those costly conversations and how people procrastinate for 2 weeks, or they don't even tell you when somebody's not pulling their weight until they can't take it anymore? Well, the average cost of a conversation, $7,500. So the course that I'm offering is $997. And that's for the 4 interactive training sessions, the 2 coaching sessions, the 16-page assessment report, the Rev Up Your Potential workbook, and the post-training support group. If you want to pay through a one-time payment, you would save $100, and that would be $897. If you wanted to do 2 payments, then it would be the $497, $498 for the first payment and $499 before the second week of training. For those of you who have stayed to the end of my presentation, I'm offering you a special offer, a thank you for attending today's session. And that is a $75 off coupon code, which is called Rev Up Now, if you put it in when you register. And that will be good for till tomorrow midnight. So thank you very much for those that you who are interested and who want to take advantage of it. I have this fast action coupon to thank you if you sign up by midnight tomorrow night. So there are limited seats because I want to make sure it's intimate enough that people get what they need out of it. So sign up today for my Connect with Rev Up Your People Management Skills, and join me. I am looking forward to helping you build your team, rev up your company, and really make a difference for yourself and your organization. So join me, and I look forward to seeing you at my Rev Up Your People Management Skills training. So thank you very much for staying to the end and listening. This is how you can get a hold of me. If you have any questions on the program, I'm happy to take them. If you if there's any questions right now, I'm happy to entertain any questions, or again, please take the information down and have a chat. I know that I've given you a lot of information to think about. I'm so passionate about helping, and I really feel that people make the difference to your organization. We had a reunion of our staff. We sold the business about 10 years ago now. We had a reunion of our staff last fall, and about 30 people showed up who live in the Greater Toronto area, because we did have 7 offices across Canada. And the things that they said about our company, that was the best company they ever worked for. And one person said, I'm trying to get some of the changes of our company that we had at iTrans, even one, if I can just get one thing to get them to do. I'm working on it, Hilda. I'm working on it. So people really understood what we created. And I don't think it's a hard thing. I think it's simple. If your mind is set on creating a solid company, you can do it, because you can stay so connected to your staff and create such loyalty. It will make a difference. Anyways, I really appreciate that we have, that we're running out of time now. I want to be respectful of everybody's time. I don't see anything on the chat right now that's a question, some compliments, but I don't see anything there that I need to address. So I would like to thank you very much for taking the time today to understand how you can make a difference. You as the business owner can create a work culture that will yield a place that you can be proud of, that will yield a place where staff feel that they're gaining insights and growth in their personal careers and jobs, and that they love what they do and they love where they work. So thank you very much for joining me today. Take care and stay safe, and rev up your potential. Thank you very much. Bye.